Welcome to On the Hill Podcast.
All right, and we're live, I guess. Welcome to
On the Hill
Podcast. So we're really excited today. We've got a special guest in the house. So welcome to the Hill. What we call
Hey,
it.
thanks for having me.
So I'm gonna read your bio real quick, and the bio names who you are, I think. Yeah, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So I asked Kate, who's the guest today, to send me a bio, and this is outstanding. I love this. So she described herself as a loudmouth, totally feisty, excited woman behind a camera lens. I'm Kate Stiles, an Enneagram.
Enneagram 7.
Enneagram 7.
Yep.
Aries, people-loving coffee queen. As a woman beauty photographer, nothing lights me up like helping women feel beautiful and strong. Empowered. Our studio is truly a space for women to embrace their authentic beauty.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
I'm gonna cuss say that's badass, man. I love that. So when you sent this, I read this, I was like, are you serious, man? This is sweet. So first of all, what's the name of your business so folks can...
So I run Kate Styles Photography, and it's a studio 15 minutes south of Richmond. So I'm actually right in Chester, right up the road.
So if you're from Chester, and this is kind of the basis of this podcast, is we're starting with On the Hill, which is Happy Hill Road, of course.
Yep.
And then for folks that know the area, you're next to that big smokehouse or something, right?
Yes. Yep. Right next to the big black building on the corner.
So when we say smokehouse, we're not talking about barbecue. We're talking about
Different kind of smoke. if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's legal. So
It is.
So anyway, your studio is right next door, but you just moved in there though recently.
About 2 years ago, we moved in there. And it has been amazing to be there. It was everything I had manifested and talked about. When I first started my business, I was shooting out of the second bedroom of my house. And I just kept telling my hair and makeup artist, my team, I was like, I just want a space that is storefront and has windows and tall ceilings. And lo and behold, here it is.
Now it is.
Wow, that's the American dream, man.
Yeah, right in Chester, Virginia.
Right.
Yeah.
And right down the road, too. It's great.
Wow,
Now-
go ahead.
Now I was just going to jump into how we kind of first got to know each other and first met as, I guess, families, I guess we could put it.
Yeah, I
'Cause-
think so. Yeah, that would probably be a good way.
Yeah. So Megan, my sister, your daughter,
Yeah.
danced for Gina Johnson back in the day. And big dance company, and then both your sisters danced there as well.
Yes, they did. Yep. And I don't know who contacted me first. I don't know if it was Megan or...
Yeah, so I think so Courtney, you're the oldest, right?
I am.
And then Courtney, I guess, is next.
Yep.
And then Aaron is the youngest, maybe.
Yep, you got it.
And it's just the three of you?
No, I have a brother too. He's in
Oh,
between
that's
my
right.
sisters.
Okay.
I don't think we ever met you.
Yeah, I don't think we've kind of
Never
met
met
through
your
the
brother.
dance community.
Yes,
Because
correct.
both your sisters are dancers.
Correct.
So I think we met for the first time. And I'm thinking back now. I think it was in 2013.
I think that sounds about right. That sounds about right.
You had had you just started, or were you doing two jobs, or what were you doing then?
Yeah, so I was working full time for a distributing company, and I was doing photography on the side, which I've been doing since high school, just for fun. I loved it. I loved helping women, see themselves in a beautiful light. And so that was just like a fun hobby, part-time job on the side. I would shoot weddings, I would shoot seniors, and then what happened was I actually got laid off from that distributing job, and that's how photography became my full-time job. But we can get into that in a minute.
That's awesome, man.
Ups and downs. Now, in high school, did you have classes you took or anything, or was it all just like self-taught type?
It was all self-taught until I want to say in about 2015 is when I finally decided, like, okay, if I'm going to be with a big dogs, I got to learn from a big dog. And that's when I really started investing in my education of how to build a successful photography business. So,
Wow, that's
yeah.
crazy.
No.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, from the start, did you like getting into it? Were you always going to be on your own, like have your own thing, or were you like, maybe I'll start, in a company and progress from there?
I knew that I always wanted to be my own boss in this. But at the time, I definitely had no intentions of growing a team because I was just so solely focused on getting that off the ground.
Yeah.
But then now 10 years later, I have a whole entire team of photographers that work for me. It's great.
That's no joke.
That's something you can, yeah.
So I'm
Something
gonna
you can
back
put
up
on your
just a little
resume.
bit. So in 2013, you were working for, I think, can we say the name of the company on this bad boy or what?
Yeah.
What's the name of the company?
Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Yeah. I worked for Red Bull. It was a big girl job. I had a salary. I had a car. It was great.
Red Bull, we're open for sponsors.
And Red Bull, hey man, look who you missed out on. Superstar, man.
I know.
So anyway, so it was 2013, you were working for Red Bull. So I think we contacted you to do some family photos for us.
I think you're right. Yep.
Yeah. In fact, and when you came over
Yeah.
to the studio, we don't have them in here. I should have hung it where that police picture is. But anyway, you took a picture, and I won't forget it. I don't think we really knew you then. I think we just knew Courtney probably.
I think
and
so.
I don't think we had ever even met Erin, your youngest sister. But anyway, so you show up, and this is like instantaneously. I mean, this is no bullshit. It's like I feel like I knew you right off the bat.
Oh, yay. That's what we
That was
love.
cool.
Yeah.
Remember, because
Super friendly.
You
'Cause
probably-
I hate pictures. And I was like, we had to do family photos, and I had to
Yep.
put on I think I was in marching band at the time. Megan put on her dance stuff, and I was just like, oh.
So
I was like dreading it.
Oh, you may not even remember. So what we did was did a
I
regular.
do remember. I do.
Yeah, we did
Yes.
a family photo, just casual. And then I remember you said, look at each other like y'all like each other.
Yeah. That's a very typical one still.
So we all bust out laughing. But then we changed it to like Shelly, because we were doing Christmas cards.
Yes.
She's a nurse, my wife, and then I put on my police uniform. You put on your marching band uniform, because at the time you were the drum major.
Yep.
And then I think that's right. And then Megan put on her dance.
Yep. That
Yeah.
sounds exactly right. Yep.
And it was super easy. It was, I felt like it just went really fluid, and
Yeah,
it was fun.
perfect. And that was what? How many years ago?
Almost 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost 10 years ago, man. So then I think in 2015 or so, you took Megan's senior pictures.
I did. And honestly, to this day, too, her pictures are still some of my favorites. And I mean, walking in here, seeing the picture of her up on your wall was like, it was like deja vu. It was crazy.
Yeah, and y'all did that in Richmond. I know you did one in Churchill. Then you won with
Yep.
that butterfly picture downtown Richmond. Which were
Yep.
all,
That
that's in
mural
the,
one?
in the fan, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was so. I mean, I didn't know you'd ever have your own business, but I think for us, for me, I always worked for the state at some level, and to have your own business, I think that's the American dream. So, and then to have a female own your own business,
Right.
and be a local.
Right.
So you grew up in Chester then?
Yes and no. I lived here for part of my life, moved to Midlothian, and then came back.
Oh, man.
So but technically, yeah, I've been in Virginia and in Chesterfield my whole life.
Yeah, Midlothian. That's the pits, man. I'm kidding. I don't know, but I want to get back to your bio real quick because I wanted to ask you something. Let me see.
Now, if you knew this, Courtney, when I
Yeah.
had to be a sophomore, I guess, in high school, she got me my first job.
Real job.
Did
Real
she
job.
really?
Yeah,
Aw.
at Applebee's.
I was about to ask if that's where it was at. That's funny because I got her hired there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
she was. I guess she was doing like the to-go thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, well, we have a host position open, and then I ran that for a little bit. Did the
That's
to-go
awesome.
thing for a little while.
That's
yeah.
awesome. Old
that's
stomping
my-
grounds.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah. And then,
Now I can't eat Applebee's anymore.
That's how it works.
so yeah, he's got his first job, started making some little bit of money, right? And then he comes home, he's like, I don't think I really need to go to college anymore. What are you talking about?
No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, and he goes, these guys are just living a regular life, man. This is what they do. I'm like, okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with working. That's hard work.
Right.
But I was like, nah, dude.
Get your education first, then decide. What
Then you
wanna
can
do.
I've always
decide.
told him that, yeah. So, all right, so I'm reading through this, and I'm, maybe I'm just, old or something. But so the first thing it says, I'm an
Enneagram 7.
What
yes.
Is it? What is it? Enneagram 7.
So it's a personality test that you can take. A lot of people know like the Myers-Briggs personality test.
Right, yeah.
And so Enneagram is kind of just another version of that. So I'm an Enneagram 7, which with that personality type means that you're very creative. You have a lot of energy. You're very excited about life. And then I also have what they call a wing of 3, which means that, primarily my personality is very loud, very bright, vibrant, extroverted. But with the wing of 3, it also means that I'm an encourager, that I do have some planning around what I like to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because a lot of creative people aren't the best organizers.
No, and I can't say I'm great, but I do have a little. I mean, you have to. You have no choice.
I guess you have to learn how to do it your own way.
Yes. So.
Yeah, because all the personality tests. I think there's 5 major, and the original one you just said, the Briggs and Stratton.
Yes.
That's an engine or something. But anyway,
That's a small engine.
I should know this. But anyway,
Briggs and Myers,
is it Briggs and Myers?
right?
Something like that.
Something
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, we're not the experts on this, but anyway, the point we're trying to make is you do find that most people, like, let's say for example, Eric's pretty artistic too, but he also is pretty mathematical. So
Wow.
that's just different parts of your brain kind of work weird. And
That's a great combo to have, friend.
Yeah. I think that's why music was like a big part.
Wow.
Because a lot of music is very numeral and keeping beats and time signatures and things like that.
Wow, I didn't
It's really
think.
mathematical.
You're so right, though. That's crazy. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
And most people don't have that. Most creative people aren't the most organized.
Right.
So here you are, you're the Enneagram 7. But the
Yeah.
other thing you said with the 3, I'm being legit about this.
Yeah. There's still like some organization, some encouragement. There's a whole bunch of tests that you can take,
Yeah.
but the Enneagram really stuck out to me. There's a new one out that everyone's kind of stuck on for their personality test.
What's it called?
I will probably think of it later on.
That's fine. I'll look it up. I mean, is it something that you got to pay to take it? Is it accessible or what?
I think it's accessible up to a certain point, and then you have to pay to deep dive into whatever your
Right.
answers are on a more like in-depth level. But there's basically like you're a manifester, you're a generator. It helps creatives a lot figure out where they are on the creative map, on
that's
how they
pretty cool.
fit into the creative and business community. So,
I was gonna say, it seems like everything you said fits a business owner.
yes,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I didn't think about that.
No, it was like vibrant and some sort of organization, outgoing.
Yes.
I think those are all traits of a good boss. And
Thank you. I hope so. I think so.
yeah,
So
Yeah. And then like the other part of on the hill is, I don't know if you heard this, is like, the struggle up the hill,
Yes.
climbing the mountain.
yep.
So
can we start from?
Start from the beginning.
Yeah,
but I was gonna say was that's what this whole thing is, and like when you just said this personality test, and it could be anything that helps somebody. Any kind of writing will help any young person organize their thoughts. And I just want to say this out here now because I give this advice to my kids, and I was a teacher at the police academy, and a lot of young people there. You're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do next. It's like, dude, take your time, write out a plan. So
Yes,
by you
right,
doing that,
right,
helps.
and write some more.
and then in the end of that, I was going to say was then once you have a goal, you work towards that goal.
Correct.
Because
Yes.
if not, you're just kind of like floundering around, like, where am I doing with this?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he was going to go ahead.
Well, no, I'm gonna bounce off that. Do you see that too with any kind of like outside of work, writing stuff down and?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, truly, writing things down makes it tangible. So
Right.
anytime, like I have very big goals, and I would talk about them, which is great because that does get you somewhere. But until you write them down, you don't have anything to refer back to.
Right.
Yeah.
So writing your goals down is massive. Also, whenever you hit a goal, you should write down the feelings that you got from hitting that goal.
Yeah. 'Cause I
That's
saw
also a great one.
It was like where you are right now is where you wanted to be 10 years ago.
Yeah, seriously. It's
And like you look right now, you're like, oh, I want to be here. I want to do this.
Yep.
But like, 16-year-old you could look at you and be like,
right.
I can't imagine being there right now.
Right. I'm 30, and at 20, I don't think I could have imagined being where I'm at with my business and the friendships that I have and the support that I have with my family and my
That's
circle.
amazing. Yeah. Because I'm sitting here, so I just want to say this as a parent. So you're 27, right? Mm-hmm. So my kids are they're into close to their 30s. I'm sitting here looking at you, and you're in your 30s. It sounds old to you guys, but I'm in my 50s. So I mean, it's so rewarding to sit here and see both of y'all, man. I just love it, man. That's one reason why I wanted you on it. And you're actually our first official, like, real deal guest.
Thanks. I'm so excited.
Yeah, Tommy didn't really count, He's family.
So we had my son-in-law. He's just like some dude. He got lucky enough to marry my daughter and still be
Yeah.
alive.
So that guy.
Some weirdo off the street. I don't know
Yeah,
who
that guy.
Yeah.
You have all that to look forward to. But yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing, man. And I think when we started, I said the first guest I wanted was you on here because you do have this huge message, and we're kind of like slowly trying to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here for it, though.
We want a message, but you kind of already endorse it and
Oh, thanks,
put it out to the world.
guys. Oh, that's all. Well, it means the universe. I was supposed to be here with you guys. So
That's what I think too, man. I believe in that 100%. See, now we're going to go down to the rabbit hole that he hates. Here we go.
Also, and y'all's the shirt and the hair kind of match too.
Hey, man. Yeah, so I mean,
We
I put some colorful one because everybody knows it. Like, yeah, he's a cop. He's a knucklehead. It's like, no, actually, both my kids are artists. My wife's an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she's a nurse, but I mean, she's still an artist at heart.
Yeah.
They both went to a liberal art school.
I love it.
So we love the arts, man.
We love it.
Yeah.
Now, did you go to school for photography?
I didn't. In fact, I didn't even go to college.
No college.
No college. I think I went for
It's 2 for 2.
We're 2 for 2, man. So the only, if you saw much of the episode 2, but my daughter's son-in-law.
Well, your son-in-law.
My son. Shit. They got
You're not that old.
You get my age, man.
Oh, I love it.
Megan's husband, anyway. Yeah,
Tommy.
he went to school. We got an associates, and then now he's out. He's like a general manager of one of these local gyms. We don't want to say the name of that, but yeah, it's like you don't need a college degree to do the things you need to do.
It is so much of it now is who you know. It's so about
yeah.
networking now.
Yes,
So true.
And it's about hard work and dedication.
Correct.
And a goal and the ability to reach it.
Correct.
Anyway, so
Because how could I ever been an employee of Applebee's without
Right,
connection?
without the connection. It's so true.
Well, we'll move on. But Eric, well, first of all, my brothers and I are the first group in our family to have degrees. Like our parents before them, my dad and his grandfather, and before that, they were all tradesmen. And I think I just had in my brain that they needed to go to college. And now, and we'll talk about this later, but maybe not on this podcast. But I mean, you don't need a college degree. In fact, we're talking about in the last episode, the governor just signed the new law or a new policy that 90% of these particular jobs that you had to have a degree in for the state, he got rid of that.
Yeah.
Because he's smart. He's a businessman. He's like, you know what? Yeah, what we want is hard workers.
Right.
Anyway, all right, so let's start back over. All right, let's go back to you.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah. So from the beginning, you were talking about starting doing like graduation photos.
Graduation
Wedding
photos.
pictures.
But when you first start, you kind of do everything. So I was like shooting weddings. I was
this
shooting
just like
babies.
friends and
friends of friends. And when I first started, truly like right out of high school, like I was like, here, just slide me like $20 and I'll take your pictures.
How many people like, can I just give you a little tip? Like, no, this is time consuming and it's a lot of work.
Right.
Yeah.
Which you start to figure that out in the beginning, but you don't really know. And so I was shooting friends, I was shooting family, and I was shooting weddings, did Megan's amazing senior photo shoot. And
how early on was that?
so I graduated in 2011. If that tells you
so in
anything.
4 years, you were already into it.
Yeah.
2015.
Less than that. Yeah.
2016 was when I went full time in my photography business.
When did you graduate?
14. So yeah, you're right. She graduated from 2015.
All right,
so yeah,
okay.
like 4 years.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be the math guy and I can't.
They gotta watch me because I lose it. I mean, I can't think
I
of
do
what I did
too.
yesterday. So
I do too.
But then 2016 was the
2016 is when they did the big layoff, and I had just had my first son. He was 3 months old. They technically couldn't even lay me off because I was still on maternity leave legally. So they had to wait until I was done and then give me my paperwork.
Did you know though?
I got a call from my boss to let me know what was coming down the pipeline. Yeah. And, it was really hard because I'm a new mom. I had my first house, my husband was like, babe, I think this is the time that you really focus on your business. And it was really cool to get his support at the time. And so I did get a part-time job just to keep the bills paid until I really started generating the income that I needed.
Yeah.
And then I quit that part-time job. I had my second child at this point in 2000. I got pregnant with her at the beginning of 2018. So 2017 is when I quit that part-time job, got pregnant with her, worked my entire pregnancy, and I made my first $1,000 sale while I was pregnant with her. And I remember this, oh my gosh, I can have a life that I want and do what I love and pay my bills. I'm receiving for this service that I fully believe in.
Right. That's the difference.
It's amazing. I remember like running down the stairs going, oh my gosh, I did it. And it was like this light bulb moment of, whoa, I can do this. Mind you, I made this $1,000 sale doing a photo shoot in my second bedroom of my house. It's not like I had a fancy studio with all these extra lights. You know, I literally, right. I had none of that. I had my hair and makeup artist come to my house. She came upstairs to my room and I fully believed in the service that I was providing for my clients at this point.
Man.
Yeah.
You know, it's and just so folks know, we haven't planned this interview at all. Maybe a few things, you know, a few do's and don'ts, like, you know, don't have a Coke bottle in here or something like that. But what I'm getting ready to say is, you just answered the problem that most people have. People wonder is what their service they provide and worth the money they make.
Yeah.
And you just said
that's
it right there.
That's a big one. It's huge in
that's
the
it.
business.
You believe, and you just said it. I'm providing the service, and this is what it's worth.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, that's huge.
I think,
I mean, most people never figure that out.
It's hard because I feel like we are so tied to, you know, we are worth a monetary value, and separating ourselves personally just from the craft itself.
Right.
Like, I'm providing a service and I know that it's worth this, but you telling me no doesn't mean that I'm not worth it anymore.
Right.
So that's the hard part with business, is we tie it to ourselves so much.
Right.
Especially as artists too, because it's like
it is
you
personal
put your
to
heart
you.
and soul into it.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
And to you, it's probably worth, you know, it could be worth 10 times what someone else might think. But
yes.
I think in a business aspect, I think it goes for any kind of trade too.
Yeah.
So long as you've been into a trade or a company like you have, if it's photography, if it's a teacher, it's like if you have X amount of years of work or experience, I should say, you're worth more than someone who just, you know, comes out and says, I would do $1,000 shoot versus you who actually, you have the maybe connections, you might have better equipment, but at the same time you have the knowledge and the wisdom to make it worth that money for them, not just for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully believe in the service that we provide at the studio. It is uncanny, amazing from start to finish. My whole entire goal, when I finally niched down knowing I wanted to photograph women and serve women in my best capacity, I knew that I wanted to make them feel more than just a client. Like, you're friends with me. So they get my personal number. We text. We set up Zoom calls. We really deep dive into the psychological reason of why you're here. We take care of everything from start to finish now. And it is absolutely incredible.
All right. So what was, all right. So, I mean, two things. One, I want to really highlight what you just said, but let's take it piece by piece. So you started off, you know, doing weddings. I mean, we're going to come back to that. So, I mean, I can't imagine when your two coworkers shot our daughter's wedding a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And you don't mind if I say their name, right?
No, not at all. They'll
Carter and Megan, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah, they were awesome.
We love them.
and when they showed up, I mean, so as a customer, let me say, like, so I've been a customer of yours 3 times.
Yeah.
Never been disappointed. So that's a good way to think about it.
Thank you.
5 stars.
5 stars.
Yes.
But the other thing I want to say is, like, I knew what you said they felt like.
Yeah.
Like you said, we talked before the show, is like they felt like part of the family, and we wanted them to feel like part of the family. But then there was another part of me was like, man, I hope all the pictures turn out good, because I want some nice pictures for our memories. But then I felt like I had empathy for them. Like, what if the pictures don't turn out right? Like, something goes wrong, and how bad they would feel. You know what I mean? Trying to say. I knew how important it is for them as well as the customer.
Yeah, they weren't just clicking pictures. Like,
they are trained. So each one of them has worked with me with weddings, and they get a lot of extensive training done before I send them out by themselves.
Right. But I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if I was a photographer and had to go shoot a wedding, I'd be nervous. Like, I would miss the best
Why do you
shots.
think I don't shoot weddings?
I mean,
you guys go do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd be a nervous wreck. Like,
I do. And that's truly why I have priced myself so high in the wedding industry, because I lose sleep over it, but they don't. They are so fully invested, and they fully feel so confident in it. Not to say that they don't have their like check their equipment 10,000 times before they leave, but they love it so much, which is why I love when they go.
Yeah, I think a two people works good too. They can
does.
play off of each other.
It does. And they had actually asked me, the one part I love about my business is that I am a team. And so they can come to me and ask me to change things, to do things. And they came to me and said, Kate, we don't want to go and shoot by ourselves at weddings. We always want to be together.
Yeah, that's smart.
So,
I think that's nice because I don't know, it made a difference, you know,
good.
for us.
That's awesome. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, it was great. And yeah, like we had, I'm going off a little bit off the path here, but I was like, we had our camper there because we had a wedding night in the middle of nowhere.
I saw.
Yeah, like at the, what's that place called? We were Pocahontas Park, but
Swift Creek.
Banquet hall.
Banquet hall, yeah.
But there's no real dressing rooms and stuff like that.
Right, there's not.
So we were kind of sitting there. And we're like, all right, we got to have something for the girls to go to because we didn't want nobody to see them before the wedding started.
Right.
And then because Megan and Carter got there, and then we were trying to like have them separate, or people coming in couldn't see them, getting the pictures taken, all this stuff. But anyway, so we had the meal time, right? And we wanted to make sure they got food to have.
Oh,
to
yeah.
eat, So we're like, where can we sit? I'm like, you can sit anywhere you want. You can sit at these tables, and I think they wanted to be a little separate, just not to impede on the wedding. So they went and sat in the camper.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah,
because we wanted them to have a positive experience too.
They loved it. They both sent me videos and voice memos talking about just how incredible the whole evening was.
Yeah, but if you didn't run your company the way you run it, it wouldn't be that vibe, and it wouldn't have been that easy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, imagine having somebody that didn't know what they were doing or were rude and didn't have their heart into it.
Oh, absolutely not. No, because at the end of the day, my name goes on that work. So it needs to be my level of expectation. And
Mostly because your name's on it.
my name is on it. And at the end of the day, had it not gone right, you would have contacted me, not Megan or Carter.
Yeah.
Tell you what,
No.
I'd be scared to be on the other end of that. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So I do have to say I will keep it positive, but I have had a couple of incidences where I have had to step in because people think they can run over the girls because they're not me. And they will come to me and be like, Kate, I feel really uneasy about this. And I step in and I'm like, hey, I heard we were having some issues. I'd love for you to come in and talk with me about it. And all of a sudden there's no issues anymore. It's only happened like once or twice in 10 years, but truly they're my team. And at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, I need it to be presented to me so we can fix it.
Well, that's a pretty good rap sheet then.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I can't complain. So
And the other thing you said was with the price of the let's say for example, and I'm not trying to get into I'm not never talk about money. But you might. I mean,
I don't mind talking about money, but it's entirely up to you.
Yeah, but when you said, "Hey, I price it at a certain level," because first of all, you want to make sure, and that's going to help you also have a people that are serious about having quality photography.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
But you already know that because you.
Yeah. So I talk about all the time, we're kind of in this industry where people are choosing to either go to a small restaurant dollar menu, or they're saving up to go to a very luxury. This middle classness is kind of dissipating.
Yeah.
It's kind of a one-off here and there, but nobody plans to just go to this middle class restaurant where you can get this.
Right.
They either want to spend the dollar or they want to save up for the biggest.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, when you quoted me the price, there was no negotiation. I'm like, that's what I want.
I love it.
I actually wanted the higher dollar package, man.
I remember you messaging me. You're like, man, I might have to see if I can talk to Shelly about it.
Yeah, that's the ball. So she's like, that's what she said was, don't worry about it because Kate's going to oversee it anyway.
Absolutely, I did. And I met the girl. I met Carter at the studio the day before because Carter was really the main point of contact for Megan and Tommy. And Carter and I had talked. She picked up all her equipment. We chatted if she needed anything else. The girls check in with me throughout the day, send me all the things. So we have a very well-oiled machine, I think, at this point.
That's awesome. Now, starting from in your house, in a bedroom, do you think that is what kind of developed your, more of a passion for helping women and getting that,
was definitely
more of a friendly connection with somebody because they're coming into your house and they're not I think
so. I think you get nervous starting there because you see all these hire photographers who have the studios and you kind of have this really big imposter syndrome. What am I doing?
Damn, you got the right terms, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the imposter syndrome.
The imposter syndrome.
You're not an imposter.
Not anymore, no. But there are still things that I have to work on my imposter syndrome for.
Damn.
I know, right? So when I started this journey serving
These are
women,
real. These are real conversations.
these are real
about life.
conversations. Absolutely. And
Damn.
serving these women, I was like, I know what I want, and I just have to work to get there. 2020, my husband got laid off, and I went, if I don't bring in these clients that I want to serve, I am not going to be able to keep my house. And
that's
it
pressure,
turned,
yeah.
I kid you not, my business hit its first 6 figures in 2020.
Bingo.
Yeah.
In 2020,
In
of all years.
2020, I hit my first 6 figures. I grossed $120,000 in 2020.
In the midst of COVID.
In the midst of COVID, I left it up to my clients if they wanted to come in or not, if they wanted us to mask up, if they wanted professional hair and makeup or not. It was entirely up to them. But 90% of my clients said, please don't cancel on me. Everything else has been canceled. I want to come in.
Oh, man.
And I served the ever living daylights out of those clients. To this day, I kind of joke. And at this point, I had transitioned into my garage. Big whoop, right? Got a little bit more space.
But that's still cool, though. I mean, this is the story of success, man.
Right. So went from the second bedroom of my house to more square footage, super hot, nasty garage. But those images to this day, we kind of joke that there is something special about those images
just
in
feel
the
it
garage.
inside.
Yeah. You look at those pictures and you're like, man, there is just something so special
So
about
maybe
these.
the energy was just maybe you see
I think it
yourself
was the
developing into
shift.
who you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if people don't know, the imposter syndrome is like you are doing a job and you wonder, are you really qualified to
Right.
do the
You're like,
job?
who gave me permission to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and-
We've
and-
all had that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but after the show, and I hope people who haven't ever seen your artwork, they go to your website.
Yeah, please come
And what
check
is the
it out.
website? So they will,
KateStylesPhotography.com.
bingo.
If you want to check us out on our private group on Facebook, it's the Goddess Lounge. And then I have my own Instagram, and the girls have their own Instagrams. So
Okay.
there's a lot of places.
And
to
we'll
put
link
content.
all that in the YouTube
Perfect. Yeah,
If you
yeah.
don't mind, right?
description. Yeah.
And we're also available on Instagram and
Yeah.
Spotify. Well, say that real quick so everybody knows.
Yeah, if you're listening, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and then on YouTube, we'll link all that in the bio.
Sweet.
All right.
So all your socials.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess when I'm sitting here as an older person, I've studied a lot of this stuff, and like when you said the imposter syndrome, I mean that's huge because people think they're imposters.
Yeah. I mean, because technically you are.
Yeah.
You're learning it. You don't know all the
But
things.
then when they go to your website, they're going to see these pictures of, and that's what I'm going to get to next is, or we can just jump to this and go back to something else if we need to. But the images you have of women, and we talked about this before the show, is we as a society have a image of what beauty is supposed to be or something.
Yep.
And it's been the media whatever has perpetuated this particular image, but you have a. I'm not saying you don't photograph beautiful women, but tell me what your vision is of it and how helpful it has been for people.
Yeah, absolutely. So with women, we are really put in a box by society. And
Right.
so for me, my biggest joke in the studio, as women, we're crock pots, not microwaves. We take an entire day to feel pampered from head to toe. Like when you go on a date, you don't want to just jump into bed with somebody. You want to be wined and dined and have dessert, and you want to take the morning to get ready. So it's the same way in a photo shoot, right? So
Yeah.
like you come in, we offer you a drink or whatever you want, snacks, and then professional hair and makeup. But even before you come into my studio, we've made so many connections. Like you're literally just like now my bestie coming in, and I'm making sure you have the best day ever. And women don't do this for themselves anymore.
Right.
We are not given the time or the luxury. We feel like we have to be running for everybody else.
Right.
And so when you come into my studio, it truly is about you. And I tell my clients all the time, like, if you want to gift these images to your partner or best friend, I completely understand, but your motivation has to be to celebrate you at the end of the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Because
Yeah.
usually if you don't like it, you don't like something, you're not going to show it off.
Right.
You're not going to give it to somebody.
Well, the
Yeah.
other part is, and I think what the other part you're saying is, as the crock pot is, it takes somebody that long
It
to think
does.
that they're worth being
Yes.
pampered this way.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes time to let that really soak in and feel the genuine connection and love and interest
Yeah.
that we have. You can go see a photographer who could take some quick snapshots and get you some images, that's great. But for me, it's truly about the experience of being taken care of. We're now at a point to where we actually have a personal stylist that comes to your house and will teach you the best colors that go against your skin tone, as well as do a body analysis on you to tell you about your body shape and how to dress yourself in order to look your best. So not only are you getting
that for like my
right,
daily?
right? No, seriously, and it's great because Emmeline is her name. We love her to pieces. She truly will just go into your closet and start helping you build outfits.
Wow.
Because as women, we are not taking the time to truly have someone who knows about this to teach us about it.
Right.
And then help us feel our best. Like we're just taught with whatever outside sources we have, social media, which to me tends to dim the light on things and really don't deep dive into everyday women.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the other thing you said was like, women feel like particularly if you're a parent.
Yes,
got all
especially.
these other things going on. You're trying to help support a home. A lot of women are working at the same time. And then it's like, do I really deserve this time to myself?
Yeah.
And I think men kind of feel that way sometimes, but we don't do the same kind of things. I mean, I can't picture me coming in and getting pampered, but I mean, it'd probably be pretty cool.
I think it sounds pretty good.
I was going to say, you can have some Emmeline come to your house and teach you how to dress yourself with the best
Heck
colors.
yeah, man.
I'm here for it.
I'm wearing the
I
same.
was
I'm wearing
with
the
the
same
Hawaiian
shorts.
shirt. I don't know.
Hey man, this is probably the newest shirt I got, and it's probably 2 years old. But what I was getting around to though is I think we're able to break through that. You're able to break through, not we. You are able to break through that, and then when somebody comes, aside from the finished product, is they actually leave with a better image of themselves, and then maybe even another perspective of how they should live
Absolutely.
their lives.
Exactly.
I feel
That's
like
exactly what it is.
The feeling you have towards the garage pictures, they probably have towards all their pictures.
I think
that
so.
They
I think so.
receive from you guys.
I hope so.
Well, and I think the garage represents your first big move to.
It really does. I think that's exactly what it is. I think the garage was my first real big move. I really got branded in my garage. Black and white photos were my jam. They still are. Everyone comments, I love your black and white photos.
Yeah.
And funny story about my black and white photos. I'm going to sidetrack for a second. I actually started shooting black and white because I had such a hard time seeing color in Photoshop. And I know that sounds crazy, but it irritated me that I could not get my skin tones correct. And so I just started making everything black and white.
Wow.
But then what happened is I started taking this class about how your brain sees black and white images versus color images. And your brain can immediately connect to the emotional point of a black and white image because it's not trudging through all the colors first.
Wow.
So hence why I really dove into black and whites and how your brain receives them. So
I wonder if that's why most older pictures you see
Yes.
when
Yep.
they colorize them, I don't like.
Yep, you'd
looking
rather
at-
have the black and white
Yeah,
one.
I'd rather see the black and white one
Yep.
because it kind of takes that the old clothes. It almost looks like now it's like a movie set.
Yes.
When it's colorized.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, the people can't see it, but there's one picture that's black and white.
Yep.
And then the other one over there is, it
a
does
certain
has a different pull
Emotion to it.
It does. Your brain can immediately go towards the emotional connection of that photo versus picking up the colors.
Wow.
And less editing.
And less editing, yes. I still have to do a lot of editing now because
I'm
my
sure.
brain sees too much, but I don't have to worry about skin tones being crazy.
Now,
And
did
I
you
can
get-
see skin tones now, so
I was
don't
gonna-
worry. Don't worry. There's a lot more color in my feed, but I'm still known for my black and whites.
Wow. So, I mean, how much? So, like I say, so for us, you took a picture of the wedding several weeks ago, and we're going to have a premiere coming up.
Yes.
So, how tell about that? I mean, so you can just use us as the example. So, if somebody does a wedding picture, what could they expect?
Yeah. So when you, after the wedding, you booked the wedding, we came and shot your day. It was absolutely amazing. We love to do what we call an evening movie premiere, and you come into the studio
That's badass.
and we actually show you your images on a TV in the studio. Lights are off. We provide a charcuterie board, popcorn, snacks. So Carter and Megan have a questionnaire they send out to the couple before we even get started on their favorite snacks and their favorite music. Purposefully, because when they come in, we now have their favorite snacks set up, and we also have their slideshow of their pictures going to some of their favorite songs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And one of our biggest things is because weddings are the pictures you usually display the most in your lifetime.
Right. Yeah.
We want to make it a whole family event. So Carter messaged Megan, was like, hey, invite your parents if they want to come,
Yeah.
And so we're having you guys all come in. We'll
Yeah.
have that all together. And also if there's more products that somebody may want, they're up for display so you guys can see.
Yeah, and plus parents got that money.
If parents are usually more like on wanting to buy things than the couple are. It's true
I can
though.
see that, yeah.
But that's your baby. You're like, no, I need this for me. It ain't about you anymore. It's about me.
Oh yeah. Well, I can't even get into the emotional.
You're literally going through it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at
Well, I mean, I'm just going. Yeah, seeing my daughter get married. It's hard enough to see your son get married. Because I mean that's cool. But dang, when your daughter gets married, it's a whole
It's all
nother.
right.
I'm not ready. I
Yeah.
got hopefully another like 20 years.
But I don't know. But yeah, so I'm really excited about Monday.
We are too.
Yeah, I was like, I told you out there, do I get to really go to the thing or what?
Yeah, absolutely. Want you to be there. We would
Yeah.
love it.
Red carpet event.
It is literally. In fact, we actually talked about taking the TV down and putting up a white sheet and putting it on the projector to make it like life size. Like we were
Oh
like,
yeah, that'd be awesome.
yeah, we were like, how can we make this bigger and better?
Yeah, I mean, some of the new projectors are pretty decent. I mean,
Yeah, we
Oh,
have one
yeah.
at the studio. I use it actually for photo shoots sometimes. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So back from the garage. How long were you in the garage for?
I was in the garage for a year, and once I hit my first 6 figures, I was like, okay, this is time. It is time for me to get a studio. Okay, This is a real thing. So
because your husband's like, yeah, but
Yeah.
he's been obviously supportive the whole time.
He has been extremely supportive the whole time. He did find a job in between getting laid off, and then so he worked part-time during COVID. Or towards the end of COVID, he got a job. But it was great because what happened is that the guy he started working for had a building he was leasing.
Wow.
So I was able to go get an office space there. It was very
Nice.
much an office space. It was in Midlothian, but it was a great foot in the door.
Right.
It had everything that I wanted and needed. I was really happy with it, but we outgrew it very quickly.
Yeah.
So I did have my first studio space there. And then we moved to Chester when that space became available, and it was literally everything I had ever wanted in a studio space.
Wow.
So yeah, I have a feeling we'll be there for a couple more years, and then hopefully we'll find something even bigger.
Yeah.
But for right now, it's absolutely what we want, and it's beautiful. We love it.
That's awesome. That's it, the feeling too.
Yeah.
More than, I know space is a.
A space is a space, but truly, like, when I walk in now, it feels like home to me.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you're a teenager and you have your own bedroom and you totally make it exactly how you want. That's truly how the studio feels. Like, we have wardrobe from wall to wall on one side. We have like a beautiful little lounge area with like gold and black chairs. And then our studio room has different colored backdrops and props. And, it's like a craft store almost.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Wow.
And you talk about writing stuff down.
Yes.
And planning stuff out.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been there at the new studio?
2 years.
And now you're already saying in another couple of years.
And
you'll have
probably, I'm going to say in about 5 more years, we will probably, if
a
not
big
sooner,
studio.
we will probably be. My goal is hopefully a warehouse. I would love to have a big, huge warehouse.
Now I know that's a goal, but like day to day, is there anything that motivates you on
I think
the personal level? And then
yeah. So one of the things I really like to focus on is it's never about. Let me rephrase myself. I started reading this book called The Gift of Asking, and it's absolutely amazing. I highly recommend it. And it teaches you the difference between wanting something and needing something, and the gift of truly just asking for it. Right now, we are so driven to just be a people pleaser and not ask for things that we stuff so many of our desires down. And so back to what you were saying, it's like, I'm not needing money. I am wanting it because I am serving you. Like, it's an equal exchange of service for value. And I remember writing down, like, I just want to make 6 figures, because as a business owner, that's like, you've kind of made it, because at that point you've paid yourself a $30,000 salary if you're breaking down things correctly.
Yeah.
And so every year it's kind of gone up a little bit more, but what we serve and provide has gone up a little bit more. I never had Emma Line, my personal stylist, when I started. I didn't have a hair and makeup artist. I didn't have a giant wardrobe full of designer gowns when I started.
Yeah, it's hard to even think about all this.
I
I'm
know.
blown away by it.
Well, because as you get bigger, you're like, oh, I can do this. I can add this. But at the same time, you have to provide for your family.
Correct.
And for your employees.
Yes. And so thinking about it versus, for me, I always think about it as, I want to serve this many clients this month. Not I need to, it's I want to serve this many clients. So it completely changes your mindset on how you're running your business and what you're doing for those clients.
Right.
So purposefully, I only take 6 to 8 clients a month because you're more than just a client to me. And I want you to have access to me and ask me questions and text me if you want to know where to go to dinner tomorrow night. Like those are the things that I love.
Yeah. Because any more than that,
I don't feel like I can build that genuine connection with you anymore.
Man.
Yeah.
So you're gonna. Now I'm just picturing like 5 years from now. So how old is your oldest child?
So my oldest Ethan will be 7 this year in a couple months.
All right, 12.
So what is he
I'm
in?
picturing like
What grade is that?
He'll be in first grade this year.
First grade.
Yeah. His birthday is at the cutoff date.
Wow. So I'm just picturing like, okay, so I'm thinking, who would you trust? And you trust your employees, I know that.
Absolutely.
But I mean, as this thing grows and grows, it might be one of your children that end up being the next. Kate
I would
Styles,
love to see that. In fact, my kids love coming to the studio with me.
I bet, yeah.
So Ethan, even when he was a baby, he's like, Mom, do you need me to say cheese for the lights is what he would say. He's like, Mom, do you need me to say cheese for the lights? I don't know if he thought if he said cheese, it would make the lights go off, but I would use him to do my light tests a lot.
Wow.
So yeah, I really hope so. And doing what I do, I get the question a lot for people who I shoot boudoir mainly. And I get the question a lot of, well, what do you think your son is going to say about you when he sees what you like to photograph? And I always respond, I really hope that he can see and love and respect women for who they are.
Yeah. I mean, I think, it's, so, I mean, it's like unfortunate that society, and you, I'm not sure who would ever ask you that question, but somebody, I mean, what do you think? Somebody legitimately asked you that, right?
Somebody legit asked me that.
So, I mean, I guess two things. I was going to talk about intent. So your intent, obviously you got to make a living, and you should not feel guilty about making a living.
Absolutely not. You should want to have the best life for you. There is enough money in the world that if you ask for it, it will come to you.
Right. So, and I think people are like, oh, money's terrible. No, it's not.
No, money is money. Money has no emotional connection to it at all.
You got to have money to live.
Yes.
So, but further than that, your intent is also to make women feel beautiful. So then your intent is pure, right?
Yes.
So
if
if you want to judge what somebody's doing, just ask them what their intent is.
Yep. Absolutely.
So when the person asks you the question, what do you think your son's going to say when he sees what the pictures you take? I mean, it makes me mad to hear it. But number two, I'm thinking is, what is their intent?
Correct. Yeah. And truly, when I think about who asked me that, I remember thinking, your thoughts on this are so not in line with the vision of what I'm providing. And I really do hope, this was a couple of years ago, I really do hope that they're now seeing where it's supposed to be.
Was it don't say who?
No, it was a female who asked me. Yeah.
Well, I think there's so much of it on social media now.
Yes.
Where girls are like, I can promote my body in a certain way.
Yes.
To get attention and get whatever is money or whatever. But on the other side, it loses the respect.
It does.
It loses
the art, I feel like.
Art too. Yeah.
It's the
and we're also talking about, for the most part, what you're saying is true. But and the other part of this is that's just somebody taking a picture with their phone. What you're doing is creating a piece of art.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with grown women, not children.
Not children, absolutely not.
So, in grown women, I mean, this is legit. I mean, they hopefully know who they are at some level. You help them even discover more about themselves.
Yep.
And how beautiful they are. Because, when a woman, and I'm not knocking people that don't have kids, but when a woman has a child, you pretty much sacrifice
a lot.
Your safety, your body, your health, your physique, all these things. I mean, you can't get it back.
Yeah.
But there is a cost to having a child.
Yep, absolutely.
A physical and emotional cost. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then when you raise your kids and you got to let them go when they get older, that's the other ultimate
Not looking
sacrifice.
forward to that part, okay.
Yeah, that's the hard part. But what I'm getting around to is you're not dealing with people that are like the person who asked you that question has a perverted sense of maybe even of their own image of themselves.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but I would just let that go. But isn't that funny, of all the wonderful things people say, that's the thing that sticks.
I know, it kind of, it's true. But
Yeah.
I truly love to think that what I do stands out. Obviously it does. I love what I do. I tell people all the time, like, I am a sculptor of light on women's bodies. That
Bingo.
is what I do.
I love that.
Wow. Never thought about that.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, if I was your son or husband, I'd be proud of what you do.
Thank you. And my husband, he's so proud of me. And you guys were asking about the studio stuff. My husband is now a stay-at-home dad permanently.
Wow.
And I do the work. I'm the one that goes to work. I do the meetings, and he stays at home and takes care of our kids.
Badass.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
it's
is awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what this whole thing is. It doesn't matter. When you're a parent, you do what you got to do.
Yeah,
I don't give a
absolutely.
shit. And there's nothing better than you or your husband being home with your children.
Yes. And I have to say, I feel there's a sense of like foundational
Yes.
like support there because he's at home.
Right.
Yeah.
You
You
never
don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. I
You'll
don't-
never regret that sacrifice.
Yeah. I don't think
Because
so.
we did the same thing. One of us was at work, one was at home, or Shelly stayed home when I first became a cop. I mean, we were poor as could be.
Yeah.
But we were like, this is what our purpose in life is this.
Yes. This is more important to me than money coming
Right.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you have the opportunity, then somebody who watches like, oh, these guys are a bunch of a-holes are saying parents at work. I'm not saying parents can't work. I'm saying this, if you have the
not at
opportunity to have a parent at home, try to.
Absolutely. And I think it has to, with your values, if that's not valuing somebody at home, that's okay too.
Yeah.
I just know for me and my husband, that was a very big thing that we wanted, and we were going to make it work that
Right.
way.
And the other thing, your husband deserves a lot of credit too. Because most men are like, oh, I'm not going to be able to stay home with my kids. I can't do that. I'm like, yeah, you can.
Yeah,
This-
he can.
And that's a scary job to imagine. Because you have 3.
I have 3, and my niece also lives with us. So there are 4 children at my house at all times.
So how old is the youngest?
My son, the youngest, is 1.5 years.
Man, your husband got some, he's tough. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
I was terrified when I was home with y'all alone, like something's going to happen, you know?
I think by the time we got to the 3rd one, it was like, well, he'll figure it out.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool though. I mean, that says a lot for you.
Now, as far as your staff goes, you've been slowly building more and more
Yep.
people as you go. And
yeah.
How many staff do you have right now?
I have 2 contractors and 3 employees. 2 of them are full time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever had an employee come and then go start their own thing?
No,
kinda stick around?
I have had. I've had some test trial runs with people, and it's not that. I'm going to speak about it positively. It was just not the right time, and they also were not in line with the same vision that we had, and so a lot of times we just like politely parted ways.
Yeah.
But
okay.
yeah, absolutely. And it had nothing to do with anything other than the fact I was like, hey, look, I love you. We've loved having you, but it's just, we got to grow.
Yeah.
And
Makes
that's just
sense.
how it is. So yeah. And so it's great because Jahara was my hair and makeup artist that has been with me since 2018. And she brings such an amazing joy to the team.
That's awesome.
And people love her. She always has she can relate to everything. I tell her all the time, I'm like, I think you've lived 10 lives.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's
Jah-
important to have.
Some people might have, yeah. We don't know.
So Jahara is my main hair and makeup artist. And then she was with me literally in the second bedroom into the garage. And in the garage, I was like, man, I really need some help, like moving lights around and helping my client get changed. And enter Megan. And Megan started working with me in 2019. And she does a lot of my back end work, but she's also an incredible photographer. So she's kind of a double sword edge for me.
Yeah.
And then recently in the past 1.5 2 years, we brought on Carter,
Yeah.
and she has been an amazing asset to the team. And she just quit her full-time job to work with me full time. So
A lot of faith in you.
thank you. It's kind of crazy and scary to think about, but it's like, I just anytime I feel that fear creeping up, I always recenter myself and focusing on what are you serving and why are you serving it?
Yeah. I mean, and that's, a couple things. I mean, I'm thinking, like Eric just said, that's a lot of responsibility aside from just running your business and your livelihood. Now you got other people
Now I
counting
have
on
other
you.
people.
Man, that's
now I
tough.
have other people.
But you just said that the people or person you let go, you didn't see that same image and same goal in mind. But I'm sure they all have that same.
Yeah. It was definitely one of those, like, I could just tell, like, we had done a lot of training, but it was not getting, it was the mental thing more than anything, because it is truly about your mental mind state. And if it's not there, then there's only so far we can grow together.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree with that.
And it's
Particularly
your,
something that's your vision.
I would say, yes,
Yeah.
your name, your
Yeah.
your
And
product.
it was a very easy, like, hey, I love this, but I feel like you need to have your priorities over here. And, I want you to be here.
yeah.
Yeah, peace out.
Yeah. A little bit.
A later.
Yeah, I come from a little rougher background.
Now, did you
so.
like have to kick him out of the garage, or was this?
Oh no, this was all
in the
kind of
studio?
done like over a phone call. It was definitely a lot of trial and error, but I'm thankful for it because it did teach me a lot about being a business owner. Like, yeah, we're going to have some of those growing pains that really suck to do this. But since I did that, our team has truly like really hit some next levels. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that happens. I mean, and you obviously like an empath in a way too.
Yes, I think
you feel that you felt the energy. I mean, you
yes. Hi, I'm Kate Stiles, and I'm a recovering people pleaser.
You gotta say no.
Yes, you have to learn how to say no. You have to learn how to not necessarily turn off the empath, but like take it, and I call it like a straw. I'm an empath, but then it's not my job to hold on to it. It's my job to give it to the higher power. So
Yeah, because it's not. Yeah.
It's not my job to fix it. It's
job.
not my job to make people feel a certain way. It's truly just, I am here to be here as empathetic as possible, but it's also not my job to fix it.
don't carry it. Yeah.
Yes, not carry it.
That's hard. That's hard.
That'll pull you down.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because I changed jobs and I kind of counsel people now at a certain level, and I can feel myself trying to carry it sometimes. I was like,
You got to let it go.
I can't do it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've taught for 5 years and 40 kids in each class, and
Wow.
Yeah.
100. I don't know. At one point, I had 800 kids I would see every week, and you would run into a problem every other minute, and you're like, you can't carry it with you because.
Nope. Because it'll take you down.
And with a kid too, and within a couple minutes they forget about it. And
Yes, that's very true.
They're back to normal. And
Kids are resilient.
Yeah.
now, for I would say independent businesswoman, if there was a young you or a young female out there who wants to do something similar or something completely different, if
Yeah.
it's not photography, or if it could be anything. Like, would you have any advice for?
I think the first thing would be really thinking about serving people. That is always going to be your ultimate goal. And if you don't want to serve people, you're probably not where you don't need to be in a serving industry.
Right.
So that's always my number one is think about how you want to serve people. Not that you need to do it. It's not a need, it's a want that you want to do it. And then secondly, coaching with somebody who is 10 steps ahead of you, I 1000% recommend it. So I have gotten to a point where I have coached with about 4 different people at this point, and each one of them brought a new value to my table that I needed. And I'm now at a point where I'm coaching other photographers and business owners on their businesses and the blocks that you get into. And sometimes you don't even know that you're in a block. You can be pushing things out of your business subconsciously that you don't even know that you're doing.
Wow.
Like a great example for me is I did not want to collect a payment over the phone. Like why? I just was like, why that's so pushy of me. And one of my friends was like, do you think it's weird when an airline asks for your credit card over the phone? I'm like, no. And she's like, so why do you think it's weird? And I was like, oh, you're right. And I really had to like dive into myself and like recognize this is a block and I've got to move past it. And now I'm like, nobody gets on my books without a payment over the phone. So like if you can't put your deposit on the phone, like your date's not there. Call me back when you're ready.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So yeah, truly working with a coach who's going to help you identify those blocks so you can grow in your business.
Wow.
Well, I think it takes you out of like a tunnel vision too.
It does. It does.
See different ways to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Broader outlook.
Broader outlook and also networking connections. Truly, I'm at a point now to where I love mentoring people who do not do what I do because they bring new perspectives on things and they're also someone I can refer business to. And building that network connection, especially in business, what gets rewarded gets repeated.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Write that down.
Well, I'm paying attention, man, but I don't think Shelly's gonna let me start a business because
Yeah, I love talking with other business owners. In fact, I run a free mastermind on Tuesdays for business owners who want to come in and just flesh out things for their business.
Awesome.
The free one, I can't guarantee you're going to be able to talk, but the paid for mastermind, you absolutely are guaranteed a spot to talk to me and everyone else in the group to get feedback on what you're working on and how you can grow and where the blocks are.
Is this for any business owner too?
Any business owner. I have a ton of photographers in there just because of what I do.
Yeah.
But I also have 2 accountants in there. I also have someone who actually runs an herbal tea business in there. That's very cool.
That is
so
cool.
yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
So how would somebody get on? Say I want to get involved in this.
The mastermind group?
Yeah.
It's $150 a month and it's 4 calls a month, but it's like one-on-one coaching in a group on top of it. So
you run that too, or are you part of the
I run
group?
it. No, I run it. It's my group. And I don't allow more than 10 people in there because
you want it.
I want people to feel seen and heard. And if you're surrounded by too many people, you don't get that opportunity.
Damn, we might have to join and figure out how we can improve this pod.
I'm here for it. Let's do it.
Well, I think the podcast is cool because it's just what it is. I mean, we couldn't have planned this any better than just to have you in and just have an open conversation. And I think that's what people like. People were formatted into people can only watch 30 minutes of TV at a time, and every 10 minutes is a 2-minute commercial.
Right.
And then they did studies and they found that the human mind can take in so much more.
Correct.
And people, I mean, some of the podcasts I listen to are like 2 and 3 hours long. And what I'm getting around to is, and like think about like the series like what's the on HBO with the dragons and all that stuff.
Game of Thrones.
I mean, think about how much time people spend on that bad boy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's so much more capacity, and we're so lucky to have this kind of format.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I think people are hungry for podcasts to listen to the real thing. Like they don't want the fluff and the salesperson. They want to get to know the person behind the scenes. So that's what podcasts are great for.
And that's really what you're all about anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And this, what I like about this is we wanted you here to praise you and your business.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah. I mean, that's real. I mean, because we're going to have some goofballs on here too at some point, but I mean, I can't tell you as a parent and somebody who's watching in a sense grow. I mean, how proud that I am.
Oh, thank you.
As a
That's
person.
so sweet.
And to know you too. I mean,
what's the difference seeing like proud business owner or proud, female business owner, but
I
then
think it's badass.
like knowing your family and growing up with.
Yeah, like you guys have watched me from the start. Truly.
Yeah,
Like
we
this thing
were
is
one of
like-
your first customers.
You
man.
really were, literally.
Yeah, I was looking for like a 25% discount. Guess what? You ain't getting no discount, bro.
I would discount you if I could, but
You know I'm kidding about that, right?
oh, I know.
I knew the quality, and I was just like, bro, it was 100%. I mean, I'm still can't wait till Monday. But what I'm getting around to
excited.
is I was joking when I said that.
Oh, I know. You're the one who's more hung up on it than me.
Don't mess up her 6 figures, man. She's got to pushing up.
Yeah, I know. Who am I, dude? I mean, I'm like some little.
Hey,
peanut.
look, I got a goal for next year to hit $500,000. So
Okay,
let's go.
All right, we want you back on the show. Yeah. So, I mean, how will we? And I guess we can ready to tie this up at some point. I guess.
Well, I was gonna say as we wrap it up, like, is there anything else you want the people to know? Is there anything other goals you have? I know you said new building in 5 years.
Yeah, new building. I would love to honestly, in 5 to 6 years, host an entire big auditorium event where photographers can come in and learn from not only myself but other photographers and grow their business. And I want people to feel seen and valued and heard as a business owner, and especially as a female. We get so hung up on our own blocks and our own inabilities that we forget that we're so much bigger than that.
Oh, no doubt.
And so ultimately I would love to grow from my mastermind into like an actual big coaching, how to run your business, because I feel like I have a big message that needs to be heard.
You do.
So yeah, there's that. I have my amazing business. I have my associates. We're definitely like working our way up. I'm really happy about it.
I think that, and it all sounds like it's to help other people at all these levels. I mean, you could have kept all this for you. It sounds like this is all mine, but that's not even close to what it is. So when your intent is pure, that's what comes out.
Yeah.
In your not just in your photography, but I mean, if somebody wondered about you as a photographer in your business and they get to see this, then they're gonna know, like, damn, that's the person I want.
Oh, thanks. That is always my goal. And truly, it's not uncommon when I have my clients, they cry more than one time.
Oh, I bet.
Because like you said, it's my goal to serve people and help people. And even if it's just giving them a place to be seen and heard and valued for them, that is all. If I can accomplish that in my life, I've accomplished the things that I was supposed to.
It's crazy because you serve and help people through photography, but now you're talking about serving other future competitors in a way too.
Truly.
You could be training someone who's like has an upcoming business in Chester or something. But
yeah, absolutely. And that does not scare me or bother me at all. In fact, I would love that because I know at the end of the day, the clients that want me are going to come to me. They're coming to me for a reason.
Yeah.
And like, there are actually a ton of photographers within the 20-mile radius. There's tons of us. And I actually have really genuine connections with a lot of them.
Do you ever like get together and like swing it out? And
No, never. In fact, I actually, as amazing as this sounds, there's a girl who I have admired her work for years. And she actually came to me and said, Kate, I want to be coached by you. And I was
awesome.
floored. I was like, this girl, what? This girl wants to be coached by me?
Am I allowed?
Right. I was like, who gave me permission to do this? But here we are. And she is an amazing business owner. And it just floored me that she saw something in my business that she was like, I need to have this for my business.
There we go.
And is there like a, I guess because I don't know. I'm not really want to get into the product, but I mean, is there a certain like, I guess for like camera or even like a thing is there a certain, what am I trying to say, man? I mean, I don't know.
Like a certain brand of camera?
Yeah, like could just I don't think any knucklehead could just.
So yeah, you can start with the camera and play with its settings and figure out what all of those numbers mean on the camera. Like I started on one brand, I switched to another one. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the brands, but, you can learn all the numbers in the world. You can learn how lighting works, and each one of those has an amazing aspect in your business. But I can tell you, I could have somebody over here that has nothing about lighting or camera work serve a client so hard that they make double the money that I did. And I know tons about your camera settings and lighting. Like I'm a guru with lighting. So
wow, yeah, it's amazing. So it's more about you think you could take Are you trying to say you could take this a crappy camera and still make a good picture?
Absolutely.
With the lighting?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I sculpt with light. Lighting is my jam. And when you first
t-shirt for that? Light sculpting?
Right, light sculpting. I should make a t-shirt for that. That
That'd be
sounds
awesome.
great. No, truly though, like I went into this and you get stuck on learning your camera first because that seems like the biggest hurdle. Once I figure out my camera settings, I'm going to be set. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you, I walk into shooting anything now and I just put my numbers where they're supposed to be and I don't think twice about it anymore. I'm like, oh wait, what should this be? I snap the shot and if it's not exactly where I want it, I make the small adjustments that I need.
Right.
So those things just become second nature to you.
Yeah.
Setting up lighting now, truly one of the things I've been teaching the girls is you have to really think of the image in your head of what you want to create and follow through. Because a lot of times there's just so many elements that you're putting together that you get caught up in posing the client, or you have to make sure your light settings are correct. And I'm always like, think through what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Think through what you want. You can go get all the fancy lighting equipment, or you can start off super plain Jane with a light camera on your phone. There, you can just use that. I've watched many things, like your lighting videos in here are perfect for beginner photographers trying to understand light.
Yeah. Because I don't understand it at all. We need some light in here.
We need some light in here. That's not overhead.
Well, maybe you can tell us what lights to get next after the show. But,
No, what you guys honestly have is perfect.
It works for this. It was good.
So what do you think? Anything else?
I think we're good. The
awesome.
message has been...
Yeah. Anything else you want to say before we...
No, I'm just so thankful I got to be here. And I really hope, one, if you're a potential client of mine, you are already like, I need to work with her. Or two, maybe you're a business owner that says, oh shit, she's got something I need and I want.
Well, at least you're willing to share. Most people don't.
Always. Absolutely. Now it's going to cost you money after a certain coffee chat, but I'm always happy to share what I have learned and what I have grown into. And I paid a lot of money for the knowledge that I have. So I'm really excited when I can share it with other people.
Yeah.
And have your credit card ready over the phone.
Have your credit card ready over the phone.
I paid on that. I think I paid online, man.
You did, but I know you, so it's different.
Oh, cool. So I did get a break.
That was kind of like your discount.
Yeah, but I guess at the end of the show, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks,
so
guys.
we're gonna put everything down in the YouTube bio with your links
Perfect.
to your. You have Instagram.
Perfect. I do have
Website?
Instagram. Yep.
What about to your? What is
Instagram. I have a private Facebook group, and then my actual website.
And what about the mastermind? Is that what it's called?
The mastermind it is an actual Facebook group. I can send you
It's
the
a
link for
Facebook,
that
okay.
too. Yeah.
We'll get it all. Make sure that people can access it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then we are happy you came. I can't tell you how much. I mean, I think it's cool. And I had no idea the message would be this powerful, but I got choked up a couple times during this.
I'm thankful I got to be here. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So
the Miss Kate Styles.
Yeah. Top dog. So all right, I guess that's it, brother.
Yeah. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
All right, peace.
Thank you for listening to On the Hill. Like, subscribe, and follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts. See ya.